This is for some of you curious people wondering how I've made it through a lot of things in life. And I didn't do things like other people. I tried going to churches, but they expected certain things from me that I couldn't do, like speaking in tongues or moving out of my sister's house and into their sister's houses, change my clothes, everything, which I didn't believe was right either. I mean, they're supposed to just accept us how we are, not change us completely. They're there to teach us the word, not completely change our lives in a heartbeat, you know? That just, I couldn't do it. Speaking tongues, those kind of people made me nervous, I'm sorry to say. But yay, they got special gifts that isn't mine. I didn't like being forced into it. I didn't like how the church wanted to change my whole life. Uh, uh, I tried different churches, but there was always something that they were trying to change about me. Instead of just worrying about teaching me the word, they were too much to everything else. So uh, I didn't learn the Bible. I only just read Psalms to help me find peace. The rest of it was very confusing to me. Proverbs was really hard for me. I felt like that was a lot of babbling, but it's not. It's just more complicated that I couldn't understand it like the rest of the Bible. Psalms, I don't totally understand, but somehow the words bring me peace. And that's what I'd be looking for all the time is peace. I find peace every day in the midst of all the storms. I find peace, whatever ways I can. I didn't used to be able to find peace, but I do now. And I'm thankful to God for that. Um, let's see, going to church didn't help me. Reading the Bible didn't help me. I wasn't really into Bible studies with anybody because I was kind of like a sheltered cage life, so I wasn't out there really learning a lot of stuff, but I'm learning now. I always believe you're never too old to learn, right? Okay. My thing was always just since I was 5 years old, and the things that were happening to me drew me close to God. I have to thank my foster mom for that because all I ever heard was that God's willing, God permits, God this, God that. I never really heard of Jesus. Even seeing his statues in churches, I still didn't know what he was doing or what his purpose was. I'm sorry and kind of embarrassed to say that, but it's the truth. And I'm always going to tell the truth. I'm different than other people. Um, I'm learning about him now, but still, all my life, I would just, since I was 5 years old, just went directly to God. I cried out to him. I talked to him. He, at a young age, became like my best friend and my father. And as other people run to their father, that's what I would do, just by talking to him about whatever I was going through. Whether it was happy, whether it was sad, whether it was confusion, um, I just talked to him like he was right there. And that's all I've known. I've never prayed for it. I don't even know how to pray, honestly speaking. I hear some people that pray real beautifully, but that's not even me either. I mean, I don't even sound like I'm some kind of spiritual, religious person, but I do believe in God full-heartedly. I do love God totally. I just never learned how to get closer in ways that other people did. So I'm trying to learn in order so I could help other people like myself, lost, hurt, confused, some of the unknowing of God. Uh, some that do know of God. Maybe refreshing them or something. I don't know, but I've always been different. I'm 65, just learning how to read the Bible right now and pray, um, knowing that I should be going through Jesus. I don't know. I still go directly to God because that's all I know. So I just wanted to put that out there. People wondering how did I survive my life with God? I went to God directly. God's my best friend. God's my father. My foster father wasn't the greatest. Things happened. My birth father never even claimed me and my sister. So at 5 years old, going through what I went through, that's where I got close to God. And I tried to stay close with them throughout my life, but I was like in these sheltered, caged environments that I was too worried about how I was going to get out of it or trying to be right with whoever I was with. And the only time I really was really close to God was when I was getting traumatic things done to me. Kind of like that movie Precious, where she just goes out of her mind into another place because we don't want to deal with what's going on in front of us or to us. So we find a way to escape. And my escaping was a castle. I always ran to this castle, and it was so fully lit, so beautiful, and it was a bunch of us kids just enjoying each other and life. You know, it was cool. But then I always had to come back into reality and face whatever I had to face at the time. But then as I grew older, I couldn't even go back to the castle. It was just my imagination anymore. It was like I don't even know why I couldn't go back to the castle anymore like I did as a child. So since I couldn't make it to the castle, and I wanted peace and some kind of heavenly moments, I would create my own heaven on earth moments with whoever I was with. If I was allowed to, or it was just a surprise, because I tried to create heaven on earth moments, like throwing the blanket on the carpet and watching movies and having drinks and beer, beer and pizza or fried chicken, whatever the men would want. Instead of going to the picnic at the park, I would throw it on the blanket on the carpet in front of the TV because I was allergic to the grass. So that was my way of going to the park and having a picnic. We'd have our food right there on the blanket and our drinks, and we got to watch movies while we were at the park, so it was pretty cool. My fiance, when he would come back from being gone for a month, we lived in the little overhead camper, and there was this little table right there that went up and down. So I would put a candle up there and light it, and we would have candlelight meals. And I did that with the last relationship I had. I would always try to make those candlelight dinners meals. I just I just did my best to want love in my life and have heaven on earth moments, you know? There was so much chaos that I wanted some kind of peace and happiness. So I would create them in my mind and then later on in reality. There was a time I lived with one of them and I couldn't get to the castle. So I imagined myself living in my reality. But I was like the princess of the castle. It's like I didn't see the house that I was living in. I saw a castle. Not like the castle I was running to as a child. I don't know if I was in another room or what, but and I was also dressed the part, you know how those women used to dress back in the days of the castles. Kind of want to get that back in my life. I thought that was so cool. But yeah, I am different from everybody else. I didn't do prayers. I didn't know about Jesus. I didn't know how to read the Bible. I I didn't go to church like everybody. I didn't have Bible studies like everybody. Uh, I just believed in God and I ran to Him all the time. He knew my happy times. He knew my sad times. He knew my angered times. I mean, I just talked to Him every day about everything. I cry to Him about things. And somehow talking to Him always brought me some comfort, some peace. I actually felt like I feel Him holding me and loving me, you know, like a father does. So, if all you people wondering how I got so close to God and my faith being so strong, it wasn't like all of yours, like all you other people that are close to God in your own ways, like the normal, usual ways. I was just totally different since 5 years old. I just had this bond with Him ever since. Whenever I wanted anything, I would tell Him. I wouldn't ask. I would just tell Him, oh, this would be cool to have this. Oh, that would be cool to have that. I used to cry about the situations I was in, but I found out, like this last relationship I had, that online one that really messed me up, broke me, almost lost everything, was driving me crazy even when I had liver cancer surgery. I'm still going through sufferings with that, but I couldn't deal with that situation anymore, so I had to cry out to my father. I always kept saying, why are you letting me go through this? Can't you see what I'm going through? Oh my God, when are you going to make it stop? And I realized that's not what he wanted to hear. The day I wanted to step out into the ocean and take that one last step, I cried out to him and begged him, please don't let me make that last step. Please, because I've been living all my life to go home to you, and I don't want to lose that all by taking that one last step, because I couldn't deal with what I was going through with that one person, which I called Mr. Rich and Famous. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I loved deeply, and I did what I thought was right, like I did all the rest of them, trying to hang in there and make it through. But this time I just couldn't anymore. So I cried out for his help. Please save me. And he did. I'm still here. I'm still alive. Uh, I've made a lot of attempts in Kansas when I was going through things, and I'm still here. I'm grateful that I'm still here. I I live for the day I go home to my Father in heaven. I'd be crushed thinking about when I want to attempt to take my life. But I also have to think about I didn't come this far to lose that opportunity to be with Him later. So I'm thankful there's something that stops me. And when I did attempt overdoses and all that, and cutting, I was a cutter since I was a little girl. I am thankful that things stopped those things from completely happening where I would not exist right now. So, I don't know, maybe I got off track here, but anyways, that's why I learning things now and always do things different. Okay. Talk to y'all later. Hugs, prayers, and God bless.